Okay, well, hello. Today is January 3rd, and it's actually my second video that I'm doing today. I did one about an hour ago, but I wasn't too thrilled with it, and I felt rushed. And unexpectedly, I found that I had a little bit of time to do this one, and I actually ended up doing a workout. That's why I'm all sweaty. Yeah, I think this one's going to be a little bit better than what I had done before, so I'm pretty excited about that. So let me recap what happened after my video yesterday and then up until right now. So after my video yesterday, it was a pretty normal day. I did some work. I'm still on vacation. I still have another week left. And then Larry and I had a really nice dinner because I knew I was doing blood work this morning. I have to fast for 12 hours. So I wanted to make sure that I had dinner pretty early, and so we split a ribeye steak, a really nice ribeye steak, and then we had a bowl of the lentil soup that he made. And I'm still like torn between that because lentils, aren't Verta friendly, nor keto friendly. And yet, I think because of the size of the soup and the amount of lentils that he puts in there, proportionately per bowl, which I don't even know if it's a serving or not, I don't think there were many lentils in there. So I don't really feel too bad. And because I kind of, what do you call it? Because I also had the big fatty steak, I think sometimes, that kind of counter from what I've learned, the fat kind of blunts the carbs or whatnot, but still, again, I really want to be more diligent, but yet I don't want to be so restrictive that I'm going to be unhappy because I really just want this to be sustainable. And for over a year, it has been. So I know that I was starting to slip a little bit, at the tail end of 2023. And so that's why I'm doing this whole, resetting of myself. And so, um, I'm okay with this. And these are the choices that I'm making. And so again, for anybody, if you're watching these are the choices that you have to make as well. You have to do what's right for you, and you can be informed and you can get advice from people, but still, ultimately the choice is yours. And so then I got up this morning and I fasted, I drank my water, and I went to go get my blood work. And that was kind of a hassle, which is, I'm not going to talk about it, but, it has nothing to do with this, but, the lab place was not as organized as I had hoped it would be. But then I came home and I was pretty hungry, so then I ended up having a bowl of chili, some leftover chili that I had made, which is keto friendly, and I had about a tablespoon of cheese on top of that with like a tablespoon of sour cream. And that was pretty good. I liked that. It was warming because it's pretty cold here in Sacramento right now. And then, and that was pretty filling for a little while. And then later, a couple hours later, Larry was ready for some lunch. So I made him a sandwich and a bowl of soup. And I was kind of starting to feel a little hungry again too, so I ended up having about a half a bowl of soup as well, which was really nice. It was so good, and because it's kind of rainy today, it was just kind of perfect. But the weird thing was is that after that, I started feeling kind of hungry, like pretty frequently, which is a little bit unusual for me. Before I went keto, I wouldn't snack I would snack kind of a lot. It was kind of like a more habitual snacking though, because I was on such a set schedule with my work and stuff. So it was like, oh, it's this time, so it's time for a snack, even though maybe I might not have been that hungry. And so since being on Verta, I really haven't had that. Maybe at the very beginning, I think just again because it was kind of habitual. But then, like when you learn not to eat just because it's a certain time, but only eat when you're hungry, I kind of had stopped that for a while. And so today was so unusual that I felt hungry again. So I ended up having a slice of Laughing Cow cheese, and then I was still kind of hungry, and so maybe I didn't wait long enough for it to kind of digest or something. But right after that, I ended up having one of those Lily's chocolate peanut butter cups, like the keto Reese's, I guess. And I had that, so that was just little things like that, which was very strange. But and then I did the video that I'm not doing anymore, and then Larry had to go run to a meeting out, and so I said, oh, okay, this will be a perfect time for me to go and do a workout because we're going to go to San Rafael, which is about almost a 2 hour drive, to go meet some of my students to have dinner with them. And I thought I wasn't going to have time until I came home, which would have been kind of late. But since he left, I thought, okay, I'm going to take this time now to go on the treadmill. So that was really great. I'm really glad that I pushed myself just to actually do it instead of just going, well, I'll do it later on, which would have been a very normal thing for me to do. The thing about my workout is I did the same one that I did yesterday, the 30-minute interval running. And what I didn't do was that I didn't pace myself well, and I kind of pushed myself a little too hard at the beginning, and so I kind of burned out in the middle, and then I kind of rejuvenated and picked myself back up at the end. But what I'm really, really proud of is that I didn't quit. It was in my head just to go right after that first interval, and I was super tired, and I went too fast. I was thinking, I'm just going to walk the rest of the 30 minutes. It would have been like 15 more minutes or so. And then after I did the recovery that is in the app, is in the video, I thought, no, you know what? I think I can do it. Even if I just go slower, I'll just do a little slower pace, but I'll finish. And I did. And then at the end, the last interval, I ended up pushing myself much harder than I normally would have, because I took the time to slow down. And I've really learned over this past year about self-awareness. And I really believe that it's very, very much of a strong skill set that you should have, that everybody should be self-aware and not judge yourself or let anybody else judge you either. You know what I mean? Everything you do is for yourself and not for someone else. And so by me being self-aware and saying, I push myself too hard, I'm just going to walk for a little bit, and know myself instead of just trying to push it through and then really burning myself out. And then I probably would have just jumped off the treadmill, honestly. But I just ended up slowing down. I didn't stop. I didn't ever stop, but I just slowed down, took some time for myself to kind of catch my breath. And then I went back and did it again. And I finished the whole thing. And I actually am, one of the things that I've always learned, there's a few things that I've learned, I quote unquote say running because I'm not a runner. To me, my body feels like it's running, but I am at a very slow pace compared to everybody else in the world. So I'm what I self-proclaim as a wogger. So when I run, quote unquote, and I feel like I'm running fast, I'm faster than walkers, but I'm at the very end of the joggers. So I'm in between. So I'm faster than a walker, but I'm slower than a jogger. So I'm a wogger. But my body feels like it's going fast, even though, like time lapsing wise, I'm not fast at all. But anyways, as far as that goes, as far as time goes, I'm a veteran. I've been doing that since 2006. So, almost 20 years, like 18 years. But as far as, skill set goes, I am like a beginning high. I'm not a newbie. I think I'm beyond beginning, but I'm nowhere near intermediate. Again, I learn things and I practice things, but my body just doesn't do stuff. It doesn't go very fast. My legs are a little bit shorter, so my RPMs are a little bit faster, so I burn out a little bit quicker. But a few things that I've learned from my best friend Christina, who is a runner. She's probably like intermediate high. She's nowhere elite or anything like that, but she's a pretty good runner. And over the course of the years, she's been helping me a lot. And the few things that I've learned from her that's really stuck with me that I really hope sticks with you too are a couple things. One is that if you're debating whether or not to go out for a run or a jog or a walk or whatever it is, some sort of exercise, most likely you'll never regret doing it, but you may regret not doing it. And I have that in my mind all the time when I'm in that, I really don't feel like it, or I'm a little too tired, or maybe I'll do it later. If you really just go and do it right then and there, most of the time, most likely you're not going to regret doing it. But if you do keep putting it off and things happen and then you end up not doing it, you're going to regret not having done it before. So the other thing is that everybody's different. And when you first start exercising, like not just in general, but like every day, your body kind of goes through what's called survival mode, because it's kind of like, what the F? What are you doing to me? Because you're starting to move faster than, your normal, everyday life. And it kind of goes into survival mode. And so you start breathing really fast and you feel like you can't catch your breath and things. And then all of a sudden your body kind of realizes, I'm not dying, or you're not trying to kill me. And it goes past the wall, and then your breathing starts to regulate. And for everybody, it takes a little longer. I think for me, it takes about a mile, which is far, right? For people who are just beginning, and that's all relative as well too. And well, if you've been exercising for a long time, you know this as well. But if you haven't exercised before, if you're kind of new, time and distance are all relative. So what you feel like, is a minute of running is forever. After a while, if you keep doing it, a minute goes by so fast. And because pretty soon you're going to be doing 2 minutes and then 3 minutes. And same thing with a mile. Like if you're listening to me going, oh my gosh, a mile, it takes you a whole mile. Yeah, at the beginning, a mile is forever. But if you keep really doing it, if you get your body adjusted to it, a mile isn't that bad anymore because you're striving to go now 2 miles or 3 miles or a 5K or a 10K, you know what I mean? So after a while, it just really all becomes relative. But you really have to get past that point. You have to get past that wall. So when you're starting to exercise and you're going, either you're jogging or maybe walking faster, it doesn't really happen if you're kind of walking at a leisurely pace, like if you're walking at the mall, like that kind of pace. But if you're walking to exercise to kind of build a sweat, you will get that too. You'll get that heavy breathing and you'll feel like you can't breathe. You really just have to trust your body, trust yourself, and keep going. And then pretty soon your body will start to regulate and you'll start to feel better. And then it's actually easier. So for me, at a certain point, that breathing is actually easier when I'm jogging than when I slow down and actually walk. When I start walking again, my body kind of feels like, oh, I'm going back. And so I start, and I really have to take the time to tell myself to just take deep breaths in. And that was the other thing too, is that when the other thing that I've learned was that no matter what shape you're in, it really doesn't matter how well you do the exercise. It's more about how well do you recover. So if you exercise, let's just say you run for a minute and it takes you an hour to like recover afterwards, your body is pretty much hurting. And that's when you know that you're really kind of not in shape and that you really either just need to either slow it down even more or do less and then build up to that. But if you can do something pretty hard and afterwards and you can recover, within 5 or 10 minutes, like actually breathing normally and, really recovering, then you know that you're actually fit. So, even if I not, and it's okay. And the other thing is that not to say, I only did, or, I only run, da, da, da. There's no onlys. You do what you do. Remember, you're not judging yourself upon anybody else. So some people, like, they'll say, oh, I'm only doing the half marathon. Are you crazy? That's a half marathon. That's 13.1 miles. So it's not, you're not only doing a half marathon. You are doing a half marathon. Or I'm only doing the 5K. F that. 5K is 3.2 miles. That's a lot. If you started with nothing and then you're going to do a 3.2 miles, that's everything. So stop saying I'm only. It took me a long time to do that. And now I stop. I tell people that all the time. I kind of admonish them for saying that. I said, no, it's not only a mile or it's not only 10 minutes. You did 10 minutes. You did a mile. That's crazy. That's amazing, So really just kind of celebrate yourself, whatever it is. If you're on the elliptical for the first time, so every machine or every exercise is totally different. You could be really good at the treadmill because your body gets used to it, and then all of a sudden you get on the elliptical and then it's super hard and you can't even do 5 minutes. That's okay. That's where you start. And so you just say, I did 5 minutes. It's not, oh, I only did 5 minutes. It's, I did 5 minutes on the elliptical or whatever machine or whatever exercise you're doing. So, so today I did 30, I ended up doing 30, what did I do? 39.4 minutes. 39 minutes and 4 seconds. And I did 2 miles, just a little over 2 miles. And so that was a little bit slower than yesterday, and that's okay. I'm totally fine with it because it's 2 days in a row. And so yeah, I got to do that, and I feel great. I'm sweating up a storm, but I feel great, and I'm so glad that I did it. I got it out of the way. And I say got out of the way just because I was kind of thinking, I'll do it tonight when I come home, but realistically, after driving all the way out there, having dinner with my students, and then driving all the way back home, it was going to be late, like 8 o'clock or something. I probably was not going to get on the treadmill, so to do that. And if I do if I have energy and I get on the treadmill again tonight, bonus. I'm okay with that too. And then afterwards, I did my 5 minute of mindful meditation, which I highly encourage everybody to do. I was sweating up a storm. I'm dripping sweating, but I was sitting on the floor. I turned on YouTube. I put in 5 minute meditation, and something comes up, and I listen to it, and I do mindful breathing. And it's only 5 minutes. And so, again, oh, not only, it was 5 minutes, and I'm okay with that. It gives me time just to slow down and breathe and think about things. And I celebrated my exercise. And so now I'm really ready to go. I'm ready to go take a shower and get dressed and get ready and meet my students for the first time. And I'm excited about that. So I hope that this was a little helpful for you, and that you're able to celebrate yourself, and that you're okay with you.